Gemini, your time has come, but be prepared for a little bit of whiplash along the way. Join me for our Aligned Astro Chat for July. Hello all, I'm Stacy the Black Feather Intuitive, and welcome to your Aligned Astro Chat Transformational Tarot for July. And I'm so excited to be connecting with you guys as part of my Black Feather Couture Divining a VIP Life series. Let's get into the readings because, wow, the energy here in July, I'm going to say, quite frankly, is really intense. But I believe that you Geminis have got this. You've got it. You just have to kind of believe in it and really, I want to say, quite frankly, grab life by the balls. So let's dive into the reading. For our overarching theme, we're going to pull a sweet ass affirmations card because I'm feeling a little sassy today. And then the card deck that jumped out to me for you guys is the Calandra Tarot. And I hope you're going to enjoy the imagery on that. So without further ado, let me click on over and let's get this party started. Love it. All right, so we're going to start with that anchoring affirmation, and let's just sort of see what the frequency, what the energy, what the tone of this is going to be for you. I am deeply loved, and I deeply love me. Oh, I am loving this. Okay. So, first of all, we have a bear, we have a little duck, I think it's a duck or a penguin, and then we have a wolf. Finding that fascinating because I feel like this is a month where you are going to really notice a lot of spirit guides, spirit animals, creature teachers coming up and coming through. For those of you who are fur baby mamas and daddies, what you might be experiencing a little bit is some communication issues, communication situations with your animals. And don't panic. I feel like you're going to find your way through, but it's going to be about really listening to that. So that's just kind of an on the side, to the side experience and description here. But when we talk about I am deeply loved and I deeply love me, I feel like this is really the focus. In order for you to move forward in the direction of where you're going and growing, in order for you to really be successful in working with the momentum that is here for you, love is the answer. Love is the frequency. And yeah, I could say this is about self-love and self-care, but what I really want to say to you is it's the complete radical acceptance of who you are to yourself, who you are to others, and who you are as part of the cosmos, as part of this whole interesting experiment that is life. And not to get too, I want to say, too esoteric about it, but I feel like that's really what July is going to be bringing. You're going to have a lot of reflection around that, some esoteric thoughts, some galactic thoughts, like I am, an ant in the, on the anthill that is on this giant planet. And then I'm looking at this giant planet from a star in a galaxy, far, far away. Can I even still see myself? What does that put into perspective for me in terms of the decisions that I'm trying to make and what I'm trying to create for myself and for others in this lifetime? So perspective, I feel a lot of perspective, but it's coming through that frequency of love. Your current self, current present moment. Where are you right now in your transformational journey? What part of you is shifting, rising, or dissolving? The Magician. Oh my goodness, I love it. Okay, so let's talk about the Magician for a second. The Magician is alchemy. The Magician is manifestation. Sorry, I wanted to say mastery. It's not mastery. It's manifestation. The Magician also is that taking time to be a bit manipulative in what it is that you want to do, which means you're taking control of something. at the core of it because you don't believe that somebody else can do it better or that source is going to provide. And I feel very much like that's an important part of the message that we're hearing here. Where in your life right now are you feeling like you've got to control every single detail in order to be able to feel comfortable moving forward or to feel comfortable saying yes to something? Herein lies the issue. Control is the big illusion. We believe that we have control over all sorts of things, but really we don't. The only thing that we have control over is our responses or reactions to whatever it is that life presents to us. And that's the skill and the secret of the magician, truly, when the magician is in balance, is to say, all right, things are happening through me and for me. Things are in my environment right now because the universe knows that I'm going to be able to make use of these things. I can make use of them in whatever way I want. I can make use of them to create a pile of poop, or I can make use of them to create the most beautiful, vision known to man. It's up to me. That's where the choice comes into the mix. It's not about me controlling the what. It's about me saying, all right, I can't control the what, but what I can do with the what is decide how I want to make it work for me, how I want to alchemize it in order to get it to be what it is that I need. You know, I often talk about you need a hammer to pound the nail, but all you've got is a stick and some twine and a rock. Well, a lot of people would be like, oh man, I wish I had a hammer. The magician says, well, if I tie that rock to that twig, maybe it would give me enough leverage that I could pound that nail into the ground. Let me give it a shot. Let me give it a whirl. This is where you're at right now. I feel like you're trying to control something that is completely out of your control. And the grand illusion of all of it is that you're thinking, once I have this under control, then everything else will work itself out. It's that age-old, if this, then that. When this happens, then I'll be happy. And I want to say to you, the magician is saying, nope. Everything is here in your space, in your place, whether you agree with its negativity or positivity, or you're happy about it or not happy about it. It is here for you in some capacity, in some fashion. But it's up to you to witness it. It's up to you to make something of it. So I feel like that is what kind of needs to shift. You're shifting into this space of, okay, yeah, I can't control all of the issues in my life or the scenarios that come up, but I can change the way I'm thinking about them. And if I'm thinking about them differently and I'm seeing them as tools and resources for me to utilize along my journey, even one step at a time, now suddenly all of it makes sense. I'm not in victim mode. I'm not feeling martyred, or I'm not feeling behind the eight ball. I'm not feeling like I don't belong. I'm actually now invested in the game. And I just feel like that is where you're at right now, or that is where you're leaning into. And it's important that you get yourself there, because when we talk about the catalyst next, what's fueling or hindering this transformation, is it resistance or rocket fuel? You want this to be rocket fuel. So yeah, you've got to let go of the attachment. I feel like there's a lot of attachment here to what you think should be. There's attachment here to, but life shouldn't be this hard. Life shouldn't be this way. When I do this is what's supposed to happen, not this over here. And I feel like the Eight of Cups is coming through to say, stop doing the deep dive on things that you can't control. There is a quality when we talk about the Eight of Cups. There is definitely a quality in this card of letting go, of walking away, of releasing and going into something else. But there's also a really big component that a lot of people don't talk about with the Eight of Cups, which is delving deep into a situation, going deeper into it to figure out, like, to make sure that you got everything out of it, that you haven't left anything behind before you choose to walk ahead. You want to take all the juice from the lemon. You want to take all the juice from the orange, right? So I feel very much that we want this to be rocket fuel for you. And if you are ignoring the fact that you're seeing all of these things happening as happening to you, and it's one more thing you have to overcome or fight or struggle against or rise above, then I feel like what's happening is you need to delve deep a little bit further into getting to the heart of the matter. Why do I feel that? Why am I stepping into that? Rather than releasing it into my true knowing that I am deeply loved and I deeply love me. And that is what is the most important thing on this particular journey. Yes, there is a component here of you being invited to walk away from something. But I want to say to you, don't walk away too soon. Make sure you've gotten the lesson, because otherwise you're going to come back to square one. The Magician, number one, you're coming back to square one. And this is a month where I feel like you want to be moving forward. You want to be creating. You want to be able to, at the end of this month, say, whew, okay, there's 2 cycles, 2 patterns that I got rid of. There's 2 problems that are off my plate. And now I've got so much more room to do things that I'm ready for, that I know are going to help me, teach me, expand me in ways that I really want. And I'm up for that game. I'm not up for the past, but I'm up for that. I'm up for this new game. Deep root. Okay, that's the one. I thought it was another one, but this was, it was like, no, choose me, pick me. This is your subconscious trigger. What deep belief, wound, or soul contract is driving this transformation under the surface? Inner child stuff, an inability to give yourself the space and the fortitude to accept your own power. I feel like that's part of the reason why you've been maybe not wanting to delve deeper into this, just scratching the surface or skimming the surface of what the Magician can do and what the resources in your environment can do for you. The strength is coming up to say, time for that mastery. The mastery bell is going off. Ding, 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 ding. It is time for you to step into your own power. And it's not that you're giving away your power to everybody in your life or in your world, but I feel very strongly that what this is indicating is it's saying there is more power within you to be had, to be acknowledged, to be utilized. And you're not utilizing it. And if you don't utilize it, it's going to utilize you. Woo! So when we talk about this, I feel like this is a wound. This is a value and worth wound. I'm hearing Venus energy. We don't have any Venus cards on here, but I'm hearing Venus energy coming up and coming through. What do you most value about yourself? That is where you want to start, because I feel like what you most value about yourself is not what you're actually leading with right now. And that needs to shift. That needs to change. Lean in and lead with that value piece. That is, I feel, what strength is calling you into at this time. Wow, that's kind of interesting. Your past, phase, your identity. What is dying away? What role, pattern, or identity has run its course? 9 of Cups, interesting. So this idea that you're constantly trying, seeking out, trying to get to that ideal outcome and always feeling like you missed the boat, you missed the mark. She's surrounded by all of these cups here. It looks like she's somewhat enjoying, the drink in this cup, but she's looking off to the side because there's a part of her that is saying, there's still something else out there. I'm still missing something. There's still something here that I'm feeling a bit unfulfilled with. This is wishes fulfilled, and I don't read reversals. I just read intuitively. What I'm reading intuitively is a lot of dissatisfaction here, a lot of chasing. This feels like a card of chase. And I feel like that is what is dying away for you. And yay, let's celebrate that. Woohoo! We don't want to chase. We want to attract. We want to attract what we are, who we are, things that we desire, because that's the level of frequency that we live in. And there's a component of this here that is suggesting if chasing is dying away, you're in the process of learning how to break out of that pattern and cycle. So when we're in the process of learning how to break out of a pattern and cycle, We're having to practice at it. And sometimes we get it and sometimes we don't. So this is to, I want to say, prepare you in a lot of ways for these are the things you're going to be running into in July. You're going to be running into options and choices and scenarios and people that are going to offer you the chase because that is what you know, or that is in sort of a fairly easy thing to fall into. And that the dissatisfaction is the key, the reminder, the neon flashing sign to say, hey, if you're feeling dissatisfied with that, remember, we don't need to chase anymore. We're looking for a different outcome. We're trying to get to the 10 of Cups, which is the ideal outcome. We're not there yet. And it's not about dissatisfaction because you're always looking for the other thing. This is more the, okay, I got the thing, but how did I get the thing? Did I chase again? And that's how I ended up getting this. And that's why there's no satisfaction because it's kind of an illusion. Did I fight for it? Did I take it? And it doesn't feel like quite a good victory with that because I wasn't completely honest about how I was going about it. Was I being truthful and honest with myself in how I got this cup? That I feel is what you're really exploring at this time. It's definitely an exploration that is occurring. All right, highest potential. This is your Phoenix potential. What can arise from the ashes? What is your soul calling you toward? This is the breakthrough energy for July. Interesting. Okay, so your breakthrough is going to come in. We talked about not chasing and observing. Pause and breathe. Radical surrender, radical acceptance of what is, surrender to what is, and being open to receiving the next signs and the next steps. Understanding that I cannot control, magician, I cannot control what is going to transpire. What I can control is my response or reaction to it. And maybe this is a time right now where I can be a little bit in limbo. I can read that book that's been on my shelf for 2 years to read because I've gotten everything else done and I can't move forward until something else becomes available or becomes ready, until the universe gives me that next sign or the next step. This is permission to take a break and evaluate. Okay, I am breaking out of this pattern and cycle. How am I going about doing that? Am I being successful in that? Not from a judgmental perspective or beating yourself up perspective, more from an observance perspective. And the Hanged Man also is about choosing to see things from a different perspective. He's upside down. You know, if you were to lay on your couch backwards and put your head, back over the couch and look at your room, it would definitely look very different than the way that it looks right now, right? From what you're used to. What might you notice? This is an invitation. And when we talk about that Phoenix potential, I feel like the lesson and the learning in this is to get that new perspective so that it opens your eyes and opens your mind to, again, not what you're chasing, but what you are trying to build, what you are trying to attain, what you are trying to go after, without these old patterns and cycles that you're doing that with. So really, really interesting. And I love this particular depiction because this guy's been here for a long time. I mean, there's no meat on his bones at all. It's clear. And I feel like it's not saying you're going to be in this Hanged Man position forever. I feel like this guy kept resisting. And through the resistance, he just kind of whittled away his life. This is also an invitation to say, don't resist the Hanged Man option. Because you might hang there for a little bit, you get your perspective, and then you've learned the lesson and you're ready to go on to the next phase. This guy resisted. So don't be this guy. Don't be this guy. The pause and breathe is not going to last forever. That limbo is not going to last forever. Oh my God, our guides crack me up. Next step, your emergence. What's just around the corner for you? What energy or experience is coming in to support the next phase? Interesting. Knight of Pentacles. This one's been coming up a lot in the readings so far. It's interesting that you're getting the Knight of Pentacles from the Hanged Man as well. They have similar energies. The Hanged Man literally is like, I'm in limbo, pause and breathe. There's nowhere else that I can go up to this point. I'm in receive mode. I'm in the womb. This is the phoenix growing. Knight of Pentacles, I would say to you, is the stage right after the Hanged Man, where it's like, oh, okay, I've got a direction, I've got a path, I've been given a quest, but I've been hanging upside down for a little while, so I got to let the blood, rush back into my legs a little slowly. I got to get my sea legs, my head's hurting a little bit. I got to get reoriented. But what's interesting about this particular depiction is that this Knight of Pentacles, who's usually the slowest knight, actually is being depicted in forward motion. Not very common for a Knight of Pentacles. Also, we're seeing his back. He's got his back to us. So this card deck has a very unusual and unique depiction of the Knight of Pentacles. This knight says, oh shit, I've been floating around in this happy place for a little while, and now I've got a mission. Now I'm feeling motivated, and now I've got to kind of catch up a little bit. So the energy that I'm getting here, the next step, it's like, be in the Hanged Man, but make sure that you're always remembering there's something to be learning from this. I'm learning how to receive. I'm learning how to pause and breathe. I know that this is going to end. And when it ends, I need to be ready to jump back on the horse and get going, because it's not going to be a slow reentry into life. It's going to be okay, I got the perspective I needed. Now let me apply it moving forward. This Knight of Pentacles is like, oh shit, that battle. I'm hearing the battle. I'm seeing the fire in the forest. I'm seeing that there's a problem. I need to get there. I need to help my friends. I need to help my team. And I feel like there's some of that energy for you in how this is coming out and coming through. This is the next step. And you're not going to be able to just kind of meander. You're going to need to jump right into it. But you are going to manifest pretty quickly what it is that you've come to manifest as a result of that. You're embracing this energy. It's not a bad thing. Like I said, most of the time, the Knight of Pentacles is depicted as, just kind of lollygagging around. This guy is like, oh shit, I better get on it. And I feel like that's good. That's good energy for you right now. Be prepared that out of the Hangman, you're going to be expected to go. Hit the ground running. So how are you navigating this transformation? Are you resisting, flowing, grieving, or are you boldly rising? Feeling this one. Oh, beautiful. So again, kind of similar. We've got the Four of Swords. It's a card of rest, a card of truce. It's getting out of your head, allowing the heart to lead the way. So I feel like this is a great card for you to be in as you're navigating this transformation. I'm just reading my notes here. Are you resisting, flowing, grieving, or boldly rising? I feel in this instance, this Four of Swords indicates flow. This Four of Swords is saying, okay, yeah, you're listening. The Knight of Pentacles is listening. He's moving. He's trying to catch up. He's not too far behind. He's got a direction and he's got a path, but he's not in a huge rush. And he's leading with his heart, which means his head is getting a rest. His head is getting a break. I also feel with this particular Four of Swords, when we're talking about fours, it is manifestation and it's foundational. And I feel here with this Four of Swords, you're really exploring, where you're going somewhere new, you're going somewhere different, somewhere that you're not entirely sure how it's all going to play out, but you're looking forward to that new. And I feel like this Four of Swords is giving you an opportunity to mentally prepare and emotionally prepare for that new. You're stepping into the heart space. You're communing with the heart space, and the heart space is giving you the plan. The heart space is saying, hey, you're going to love this. This is going to be great. Everything's going to be great. Just breathe. And the nicest thing about this is you don't have to know all the steps. You don't have to have all your ducks in a row in order to move ahead with this. I got you. Just be in me. Be in the heart space. Let me lead. And we got this. And I feel like that's really significant. That's really important at this time. That's your role in all of this. That's the part that you're playing, is get out of your head and be in your heart space and trust that it's going to lead you exactly where you need to be for your highest and best, as well as those that you are serving. Circles of support. Who or what is influencing your transformation right now, positively or negatively? Interesting. Wow. So conflict is a form of support for you this month. When conflict arises, it gives you an opportunity to pause, to evaluate, and to say, where is this conflict coming from? How best can we resolve this conflict? What will it take to resolve this conflict? Because there's a key to why it's coming up in the first place. I feel like conflict is your friend here. Conflict is going to support you because it's going to allow you to move further ahead, to break those patterns and cycles, to stop chasing much more quickly, because there's something that is causing you to stop and look at it, to evaluate it, you can't move forward until this is addressed. Or you've received that information and that wisdom through your hanged one experience, and now you're applying that wisdom moving forward, and you are saying to those around you, I'm ready to make a change. This is the change that I'd like to implement. Would love some feedback, would love some feed forward. I've been running into this same issue or the same circumstance, the same pattern over and over again. I'm ready to be done with this. I'm tired of this fight. And yeah, I can just let the fight go, but I've done all of those things before and it just keeps coming back, which tells me that my technique is maybe a little flawed. I'm missing the net a little bit in this. So I feel like the conflict invites you to reach out to your circles of support for a little more feedback, a little more information, a little more guidance on how to be able to move forward. Hopes and fears about the shift. What are you dreaming of becoming, and what scares you about actually becoming it? Oh, the Star card. Okay, so the Star is the vision. And when we're talking about hopes and fears, this is your hope. This is your absolute hope. You're saying, I have these beautiful, incredible, wonderful visions. I've had them for years. I'm starting to see that they now can take flight. I'm seeing their potential. I'm seeing that there's an absolute possibility that this is going to come up and come to pass. And I feel like what you're doing here is you're measuring how much of your time and energy and investment is required to bringing this to light, to bringing this forward. I also, with the Star card, sometimes it can represent health concerns, health issues. I feel like this is around what you're seeing or what you're not seeing that is perhaps manifesting itself in a physical way, to get you to pay attention to, again, what it is that I'm seeing or not seeing. What is it that I'm burying my head in the sand about? What is it that I have a limiting belief about that is stopping me from seeing the way through, or from being able to follow the light, the path that the light has created? So I'm loving this so much. And I feel like the fact that this is your hope says to me, lean into that hope. That hope is the elixir. That is that love is frequency, not as feeling. I am deeply loved and I deeply love me. I would say to you in this capacity, don't even entertain the idea that you have fear around it. Just be all in the hope of it. Even from that, what is it that I'm not seeing perspective. When you get the answer of what is it that I'm not seeing, you say, thank you. I'm grateful that you've given me the clarity to see it now. And now I'm going to add that to the hope. I'm going to go into that space, right? When we know something, when we know better, then we do better, right? I feel like that's what's coming up. I just love this card. I want to say this is like the center card. Of course, it's not the outcome card. It's the hopes and fears card. But still, I want to say, like, this needs to be our center card just because it's so pretty and the message is so powerful and on point with everything that that this month represents for you on an energetic level. So yeah, let's just we're going to come back to that because that's just so incredible. Okay, our ideal outcome of our transformation. If you're staying on course, who will you be on the other side of this beautiful July? And what is the result of embracing the full death and rebirth cycle? 6 of Cups. Interesting. So I want to say it's like going back to a time when you felt truly happy, when you felt truly like you were on your game, you were in your flow. Things were moving and shaking, things were happening for a reason. Um, this card often represents like blast from the past or going back to the past. And I hesitate to read that in this way because I feel like at the end of the day, it isn't really about the past. It's more about experiences that you have had that have introduced you to that love as frequency in a number of different ways and levels. And you're revisiting that, you're aligning to those frequencies to be able to bring the vision that you have out of hope and into the physical, into the tangible, into the material. Six is harmony, balance, and alignment. Six is that energy of true north. And I feel like that's what this is going to all sort of lead into, is you discovering what your new true north is, or realigning to your true north. You know, when we chase, we get off course because we're following somebody else's path. We're following somebody else's energy. It might not be our path, but it veers us off our path because our focus now becomes that other person, place, or thing. This brings you back to what your path is, your true north, where you feel loved, where you feel respected, where you feel on point. Ooh, I got chills. Oh my God. All right, Gemini, that is your transformational tarot for July. And, you know, I don't know, I've got a lot of new followers since I've been doing this particular series. And so many of you may not realize that I also do private readings. And if you're having any issues, any troubles, any difficulty with some of this transformation that you're going through, that's my specialty. I would love to be able to help you out in any capacity I can. So feel free to click on the link below to connect. Otherwise, I hope you guys have the most incredible July, and we will see you on the flip side. Transform well.